I don't know how the Flames expect to make playoffs when they can't even string 60 minutes together. What's going on, everybody? I'm Slater, and I'm here to talk some sports. Saw people like Kenny for real just going off on the camera, and for some reason I ate up every single word. Ate it like soup. So figured, hey, why not you talk about something you know about, Slater? Get into it, maybe have some fun. Because that's all I fucking do anymore is have fun. May as well get into the game, eh, gang? So let's do it. The Flames game tonight. You might have seen by the title. I don't know. They managed to pull it off. They beat the Jets. Don't know if you saw that. It's 3-1, final score. Couple hard-working goals. Been to a couple games recently. Figured I'm from the area, may as well talk about a team I actually know for once. And, the Flames game's on at 5:30 for some reason. It's fucking early for me, but it's good. I wasn't working until 6 o'clock anyway. Yeah, so Flames. The game tonight was generally good. I mean, recently they've been kind of so-so, like I said. They've been very so-so lately. I've been to a couple games, and both those games have been very average. They lost the first time. I actually went to the Ducks both times for some reason, but they lost to the Ducks the first time, and then they narrowly beat them the second, 5-4. I don't know, it wasn't anything special. Whenever I go, I feel like everybody somehow, whenever they go to a Flames game, recently it's any time I get excited or think, oh, I hope for some exciting game, maybe not even overtime, but just a good win, like a hard fought effort. Let's see the boys really go for it. Big loss. My friend was telling me I think he's 2-5 every game he goes to, so altogether 2-5, not a great record. It's not the one I like to go home with, but hey, it's the one he's rocking. So does he just not go to games anymore, or the Flames gonna figure it out? I don't know. They gotta figure something out, because this so-so effort just isn't gonna last. Fortunately, they played well today. Can't get ahead of myself there. They did play decent today. Gotta play it game by game in the NHL. Unfortunately, it's a 7-game series for most teams. Not most, I guess. A good chunk. There's 7 games on the table always, so when it comes to playoffs, you can't just knock a team off, unfortunately. It's not these other sports where you can kind of do that simple little, oh, if we get through or we have one little battle, maybe we can pull it off. NFL, you fly through, you might get a good run. Not saying that happens, but it's a little bit more straightforward. NBA, honestly, you have a couple hot superstars or a big injury, you're fucked. NHL, your star players go down and somebody steps up in that moment and just buries a couple goals, and that's all you needed. That's all you needed from that guy, because you actually have 3 good lines, something like that, It's not as big of a deal. So Flames don't necessarily need to change a ton, I do not think. I just notice a lot of so-so efforts from them. And unfortunately, that's not going to lead them to a playoff spot, and that's not where they want to be when they're playing off against our number 1 in the fucking conference, which I should. And that's not where they want to be when they're facing off against our boys Vegas. The Flames, they battled tonight. I think they did pretty well. The main emphasis was they were gritty. I really thought they were going to the corners. That second goal there, that was just chucking it on net. I noticed recently, especially, teams get away further and further throughout the season from that stuff that leads to success. So you'll see a lot of emphasis on those kind of fancy moves, and it's not necessarily that those are bad moves, because I kind of like watching them and they're entertaining. It's more so you can't be doing those kind of things when you're trying to instill confidence in your team. So good things to build on. A lot of what the Flames are doing tonight. They were gritty. They stayed in it. They didn't rely on any one thing to really keep them going. You notice they would do the little things, and they were doing it for each other, not necessarily for that stat. Calgary wasn't bitching as much, I didn't think. Again, didn't watch the whole game, but it seemed like it worked well. And if you look at the stats afterwards, again, I'm not lying here. I'm not trying to say I'm a super fan, but yeah, if you look at the stats afterwards and you watched what you did, like I have, I do feel like they were trying. They did what they needed to kind of stay in the game, right? Another big part of that was their competent goaltending. Markstrom, stand up. He had a great game. I think he had 30-some stops. He was buzzing. He was absolutely killing it, I thought. Markstrom needs to be that every night, and you gotta wonder if there wasn't something in the back end there that's going on, if there isn't some disagreement that's not happening anymore with somebody like Sutter behind the scenes. I've heard a lot of, I guess, buzzing about a little guy like that, freaking out about maybe getting yipped. Sutter, he's kind of set in his ways. Maybe he stays in his ways until he does, and therefore a guy like Markstrom never has that success until he's gone. Fortunately, doesn't look when a night like tonight happens like that's the case. Hopefully Markstrom can maintain that success moving forward. Another big part of it is the Flames are working together. At the end of the day, like I said, Kadri wasn't bitching as much. There wasn't a lot of disagreements on the ice. There's not a lot of, oh, hey, let's do it for each other. Now, again, they didn't face a ton of adversity. Sure, they were down right away with Connor's goal, but they did did manage to battle back from that, score pretty much right away, next period. But once they did score, they managed to transition into a place where they never look back. And Flames, especially being that team without that super standout, without that Huberdeau's not playing up. You have other guys standing out, and it can be kind of any given player from that top 9 throughout any given night that could really stand out. I think if you're still hoping for goals from guys like Lucic, then your team needs to really look at itself and realize, man, we got to do what works and keep it simple. And if we want to win these last few games, we really need to do those things to be competent. So yeah, let's go ahead and go into where the Flames need to go from here. One thing about the Flames is that they are, I'll bring up the standings right now. Hopefully it'll be off to the side. I also got the Oil game going on in the background here. Halfway through the second almost, and 0-0. McDavid doesn't feel like potting anymore. He's saving it up for the postseason maybe, who knows. Anyway, looking at these standings here, you notice Seattle's just ripping up top. Who cares about them, I guess, whatever, no worries. 5 points down the way though, you got now a tie with Winnipeg and Calgary after tonight's win. Calgary over Winnipeg in regulation, so that was good that they picked up the regulation. They didn't give a point to Winnipeg, that's nice. Other part of that, they got to keep doing it. Winnipeg, I think overall they might have the easier schedule. So Flames schedule to start us off. So they're at Vancouver. So that's right there already a game that the Flames love to lose. It's away. It's 2 days from now, so hopefully they have a day to rest. It's not that far. It's obviously really close. And Vancouver's kind of out of it at this point. I'm not sure Vancouver will have enough in them to win. The thing is, the Flames might not have it in them either. The Flames love to give up. Like I watch them so often, and I just see a bunch of, the effort's not quite there. And it's nothing against the guys. I know they're trying their best and they're all better at me than hockey. Duh. More focused on like, you hope for more. You're a fan, you show up to a game, you pay your money, you sit down, and you hope for more. And that's all I can really do. And so if the Flames want to be providing more, if they want to make the playoffs and maybe show up for a couple games at home, at least in round 1 before they get swept by Vegas, no, I think the Flames might stand a decent chance if they make the playoffs. So that's a whole other conversation. But if they grind, I think they can beat a team like Vancouver. But that is up to the Flames. I think Vancouver will not decide that, and that's really up to the Flames. Maybe Vancouver has a stand-up game, but at the end of the day, I think that is the Flames to win. Then they have Nashville. So that's obviously a huge game. You got Nashville right below them in the standings. That's the other team that they're competing with here. Nashville has quite a schedule. They have Carolina next still. They have a game in hand, but they have Carolina, which Winnipeg, at Winnipeg. Again, Winnipeg has that. What are they at home? They're 24-13-2 at home versus 19-19 away. So they're 500 away with those extra OT losses. And then, 24-13 at home. So 24-13 at home, that's pretty good odds to me. So hopefully, I don't know, if Nashville might be able to take that game from them, but then again, one of them has to take that. And at the end of the day, I think Winnipeg would take that. So we're going through Nashville, the rest of their schedule, then they play against Calgary. That's that next game for Calgary after Vancouver. They play Nashville Monday. That's a game they really need to win, and you know what? I don't think they will. If I'm to guess right, that's the game that I think Nashville will stand up. I think, Rene might stand out. Who really knows? Am I lost? Is Rene even their goalie anymore? Suarez? Fuck, I'm out of it. Who knows? But I think they have some solid goaltending. I think they have some solid defense still. I think they'll do well. I think they're a good hockey team who really could give a run for it. So I think the Flames might drop that one. I think I got a little sidetracked. So Flames schedule. So they're at Vancouver. You know what? I think they can win that game. It's up to them, but I think they can win. Nashville, I don't think they'll win. I think Nashville can win that game if they want to. I think Calgary might take it off. That seems like at Nashville. Oh, no, it's at home. Excuse me. Yeah, Nashville at home. Like they might turn it on at home. So that's a tight one. That's a tight game. So we got San Jose the Wednesday. Again on Thursday. I think they win San Jose. I don't think that's too tough of a game. San Jose is not trying to fool anybody. They're not trying to hide anything. San Jose's not great. So that leaves really Calgary needing to win their game on Monday against Nashville, assuming they've already won the Vancouver game. And ideally, Calgary going for at least 5 points. They need 5 out of these 6 points. They only got 3 games left versus Winnipeg's got 4, Nashville's got 4. That really makes it tough on them because, they're playing from behind. I think with Winnipeg's schedule, you look at theirs, obviously they're just ahead because of the game in hand, and they have Nashville. You know what? I think Winnipeg wins that game. You look at Winnipeg's home record again, they're playing at home. I think they beat Nashville at home. You know what? They got San Jose at home, which is right after, you know, it might be 2 days later, whatever. Easy win. I think that's an easy win. I'm not holding that again. I think Winnipeg's a good team, and that's the problem that Calgary's facing is they shouldn't be fighting against good teams for these playoff spots, because that's what you do. If you get stuck in this spot, you're not just battling against other shit teams. You're battling against these other underperformers. So now you got teams getting hot right at the right time that you have to fight against and beat out, like a Winnipeg. So they got Connor, you know, he scored his 31st tonight, I think. So I think he could score a few more. He could score 4 goals in 4 games here. That seems like a winning formula to me. But they got Nashville and San Jose at home. Boom, boom, 4 points almost guaranteed. So at that point, that's why I say Calgary needs 5 points, because I think after this, it's a little bit fishy for Winnipeg. So then they play Minnesota. Minnesota's been getting hot. They got 2 good goalies. Anything's possible. I think that's Minnesota's game to win. Let's say Minnesota wins that. Then they got Colorado. Colorado's a good team. I think they're getting hot. They're probably taking some pride. It's not quite the NBA yet. They're not taking rest towards this late in the season. I think there's a good chance Colorado wins that game. So under this pretense, we got 2-2 for Winnipeg in their last 4. We got Nashville, which I'm thinking they lose to Carolina.
I'm taking my pup for a walk, but realized and saw online that Nashville is actually unbelievable. They might have what it takes. I could be completely wrong in assuming that they don't have what it takes, because they might. So they beat Carolina the other night, and now they're 1 point behind Calgary with a game in hand on both them and tied with Winnipeg. Yeah, I was right. So yeah, they beat them 3-0, which is a solid win. That goaltending showing up for Nashville again. So who knows? Maybe they'll pull it off.
I'm thinking they lose to Winnipeg. I'm thinking they beat Calgary. I think they lose to then they play Minnesota last game of the year. So I think Nashville only gets 2 points. I think Nashville's 3 points behind now. I think Nashville's done. Then we got Winnipeg. Like we said, I think Winnipeg gets 4 points for sure, and then they could win against Minnesota and Colorado. What are they below? They below 500? I gotta look at this. At home? Oh, away. They're 19-19-1. 19-19-1 away versus 24-13-2 at home. I wonder where they want to play. At home. So the last 2 games being away against good teams, I'm not sure Winnipeg wins those. In a perfect world, it's up to the Flames in that game against Nashville on Monday if they make playoffs. I think if they can win all 3, boom, they stand a great chance. But they are still dependent on Winnipeg dropping at least 2 games out of Nashville, San Jose, Minnesota, and Colorado, which anything's possible. But tell me what you think. How you feel? What do you think? Honestly, like there's tons of good points out there. I read a lot of comments and I'm like, you know, anything's possible. But on the other hand, I think what I think. And yeah, I kind of want to do some Canada videos. I'm not even going to edit this a ton. Honestly, it might fucking suck, but how else do I learn? Like, fuck it. Like, I like hockey and talking. So if you're interested in that, or you want to get to know some stuff, I don't know, I might go into some stuff here and see where I go. I like talking about it. I like playing it. I like sports. I'm still going to do a bunch of different kinds of stuff. So if you're at all interested, or you learn anything good, or you just want to share your opinion, fire away. Thanks, guys.